There are some footages I saw about the son, and when you move, how he met his death, and when you move around. I think many Ugandans have piqued interest. Most of your closest friends there who give usually news have back the border. I just love the way those guys have information.
No, they listen to lots of radios, and I think they are listening to the political radios. For example, the local best radio stations that give analysis on the situations world over. So someone is listening to, let's say, UBC Red, listening to
Star
FM. They're listening to all these radios and picking just 2-3 lines. So by the end of the day, they have their own set of information.
What I get there, what I get there, see? That's all. Borders, I just want to give you a credit. Thank you so much for always following events, and I love the way they analyze most of the time. So they were telling us, I don't know, wow. So that is one of the stories actually that has also caught attention this week. And of course, not forgetting the president winding up his Sebei Wealth Creation Tour. Yes.
And also, speaking of that, by the way, I was following the live broadcast of the SEM, and the people of Sebei were in unison, or I should say, they all agreed that he should be their sole candidate for 2026, meaning he's already getting people who believe that he should come in and stand as president. Please remember that we are not yet in the campaigns, by the way, because the electoral roadmap will be kicking off next year in the month of in the year of 2025. So you should be ready to get into that. But for now, let's get into the local news and international news. First off, the locals.
Well, we'll begin with President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who has expressed concern over the ongoing issues of compensation for properties and lives lost during raids carried out by the Karamajongs in both Sebei and Bugisu region. He indicated that he would invite his cabinet to focus on this matter. The president held a media session with journalists from the Sebei sub-region at the State Lodge in Kapchorwa, making the conclusion of his 3-day wealth creation visit in the area. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni also engaged media practitioners from the Sebei sub-region at Kapchorwa State Lodge. The discussions covered a variety of topics. When asked about the future of those who disregard his message on wealth creation, Museveni responded calmly, providing insight into his approach. Journalists also raised concern about the continued raids by the Karamajongs in the region, which remain a pressing issue for people of the Sebei region. Museveni assured the media that government is committed to supporting beneficiaries of the Parish Development Model, PDM, who have lost their enterprise due to wildlife destruction. The Uganda Muslim Supreme Council marked 50 years of existence and unity of leaders among Muslims and service to Muslims across Uganda since 1972. The organization, originally formed to unite various Muslim sects in the country, took time during the celebrations to reflect on its achievements. Leaders, women, youth, and district cadres reaffirmed their commitment to its mission. 52 years ago, the Uganda Muslim Supreme Council was established with a goal of uniting Muslims from diverse regions and groups, an event that has been commemorated at the National Mosque in Kampala. Under the leadership of Sheikh Shaban Ramadan Mubajje, Uganda Muslim Supreme Council has made great strides in promoting education within the Muslim community. Sheikh Erias Kigozi, the district cadre of Wakiso, highlighted the increased number of scholarships and educational initiatives aimed at empowering Muslims across the country. Habib Mustafa, the National Youth Muslim leader, commended the opportunities given to the young Muslims for engagement in leadership. Youth involvement, which had been limited to previous generations, has grown significantly, allowing young Muslims to actively contribute to the growth of the community. Hajat Sophia Safina Kenyanje, the national leaders of women, emphasized the greater inclusion of women in leadership roles in the time of Uganda Muslim Supreme Council. The Minister of State for Persons with Disability, Helen Asamoro, has called on Ugandans to be more mindful of children with disabilities and actively involve them in government programs such as Parish Development Model and EMYOGA. She made these remarks at the launch of the Citizens Generated Data Initiative in Kampala, which aims to improve planning of marginalized groups and identify ways of assisting children with disabilities. State Minister for Persons with Disability highlighted that many children with disabilities are orphans and lack the equipment they need for daily life. She assured the public that government is committed to improving and helping all disabled children through programs such as Parish Development Model and EMYOGA. Dorothy Warra, the Executive Director of Uganda Society for Disabled Children, emphasized the importance of Citizens Generated Data Initiative in addressing the specific needs of children with disabilities. She noted that this data would facilitate better resource allocation and improve access to education for all children with disabilities. And finally, from the local scene, the Uganda Professional Drivers Network has called on motorists to respect road signage during this festive season to minimize on the risk of road clashes. Ndugo Omongo, the Executive Director of the network, wants drivers to avoid lame excuse for poor road signage and design and other related infrastructure. This was during an engagement with motorists leaders in Mukono. The 2 days retreat of Uganda motorists was organized by the Uganda Professional Drivers Network, intended to remind drivers and other stakeholders on proper road usage during this festive season. The retreat highlighted critical issues like overspeeding, driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs, and the neglect of road signs. All of these which drivers must be mindful of. The event brought together leaders from various motorist organizations who affirmed their commitment to enforcing existing traffic safety policies. Experts shared the situation in health facilities where victims of road clashes are admitted. According to the 2023 police report, Uganda saw a concerning increase in road accidents with 4,179 fatalities, 30% raising compared to 2022.
Well, interesting developments coming in from the local scene. Now we turn our focus to the United States because the US President Joe Biden has issued presidential pardons to 39 Americans convicted of non-violent crimes and commuted the sentences of nearly 1,500 others, now including several convicted of multi-million-dollar fraud schemes. The White House described it as the most acts of presidential clemency issued in a single day. It comes after Biden made the decision to pardon his own criminally convicted son, Hunter Biden. Now announcing the move, Biden said those pardoned had shown successful rehabilitation and have shown commitment to making their communities stronger and safer. The U.S. Constitution decrees that a president has the broad power to grant reprieves and pardons for offenses against the United States, except in cases of impeachment. The White House released a pardon or a list of 39 people that said the individuals had committed either a non-violent offense or a non-violent drug offense. It did not name the specific crimes they were convicted or committing. And elsewhere, we turn our focus to the Middle East as the United Nations Chief Antonio Guterres is deeply concerned over the hundreds of Israeli air strikes on Syria, saying there is an urgent need to de-escalate violence on all fronts throughout the country, his spokesman revealed. United States National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan defended Israel's extensive attacks on sites in Syria, saying Israeli forces are trying to neutralize potential threats. Jordan will host a crisis summit on Syria over the weekend to be attended by top diplomats from Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Lebanon, Egypt, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Qatar, Turkey, the US, the European Union and the United Nations. Now, the UN envoy for Syria says images emerging from the notorious Sedania prison and other detention facilities show the unimaginable barbarity suffered by Syrians for years. And lastly, we return to the African continent, where Ethiopia and Somalia have agreed to end their bitter dispute over Addis Ababa's plans to build a port in the breakaway Republic of Somaliland following talks in Turkey. Now, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan welcomed the historic agreement, which he said would eventually ensure landlocked Ethiopia's access to the sea. At the press conference, he held hands with Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, who both agreed to respect one another's sovereignty. Now, the two neighbors have been at loggerheads since January, when Ethiopia signed a maritime deal with Somaliland, which Somalia considered as part of its territory. Now, it prompted fears of a wider regional conflict, as Egypt has been backing Somalia, largely due to its anger with Ethiopia for building a dam on the River Nile. Now, Turkey has in recent years become an important geopolitical player in the Horn of Africa, as it has close economic ties with Addis Ababa and security deals with Mogadishu. Now, interesting developments coming in from the international scene, but elsewhere, the press review is reporting something quite interesting. Now, the New Vision is writing this Friday that in matters health, half of Kampala's women are obese. Now, that's an interesting report, and you can find details in today's New Vision as Ugandans bet 20 billion shillings daily. Now, the experts are giving advice on that issue, and the addiction to betting looks to be a growing trend. Now, President Museveni is explaining the role of the court-martial as the lawyers speak out. The army court ruling sparks controversy. Now, Gulu wins season 2 of the university quiz. You can see the pictorial of the students from Gulu University upon their victory in the just concluded university quiz. Now, off to the Daily Monitor, which is writing, Museveni is later put in the dock. Can of worms. President Museveni's later on the functionality of the General Court-Martial has triggered more questions than it has answered the queries that have been flying around over the trial of civilians in military courts. Now, when you look at the reports in there, in between the line, they're asking double standards. Why have many offenses that involve the use of guns, like aggravated robbery, murder, and rebel activity, not being taken to court-martial, but are instead being tried in civilian courts? Take the example of Jamil Mukulu, LRA suspects, and the rest. Then, fast justice. There is a debate on whether the military courts really expeditially dispense justice, as many users have alleged, spending years without justice. And some civilians have also alleged they were conceded into pleading guilty to charges. Now, sub judice, they ask the Daily Monitor, more details there. Now, away from that, still the Daily Monitor is writing, why 90% Makerere female sexual harassment victims never report. There's an interesting case in the Daily Monitor, and I can tell you today's covers of both the Daily Monitor and New Vision give you an interesting lookout for reports to read through. Now, in the Scoop magazine, they give you the Concerts That Rock 2024, a major throwback to this year. As we already told you last week, 2024 was not a very good year for the music, but when it came to concerts, we saw a lot of throwbacks and old stars staging shows. Now, they give you a breakdown. Pictorial shows you Irene Nambir, who also staged her concert this year. Now, in the other news, vibrant media good for country's growth, says the UK High Commissioner. That report is in the Daily Monitor. Now, to Kenya, the Daily Nation. I will prove my critics wrong, says President Ruto. Jamhuri Day. Many Kenyans, including the church, have accused the president of lying, as Kenya was celebrating 60 years of high independence. Now, a big day for Raila, as he faces off with rivals in debate with AUC job race entering home stretch. Or did I mention 60 years of Kenya's independence? 61? Now, then Karua to Kenyans, fear is not an option. Let's take on Ruto. And then governors turn to costly loans over treasury cash delays. Daily Nation gives you the details. Now, special report inside Kamlesh parties in his wild world of sleaze. That is in the Daily Nation. Now, big day for Raila as he faces off with rivals in the debate with AUC job. as the job race is entering the home stretch. And more of that is in the Daily Nation. Also in The Voice, unseen scars, 3 men, 3 stories, 1 shared pain. That report is in the Daily Nation. Now, the Citizen from Tanzania writes, AFDB multinational banks are set to mobilize 1.2 billion US dollars for SGR. The African Development Bank has partnered with multinational lenders in Deutsche Bank and Société Générale of Germany and France, respectively, to secure up to 1.2 billion in financing for Tanzania's standard gauge railway project, as East Africans transact nearly $82 billion, according to new developments. Now, in the business mission, United Arab Emirates investors explore new opportunities in Tanzania. Now, battle lines drawn as Lissu eyes Chadema top post. Now, the election poll race is also taking center stage in TZ. Now, SGR stoppages, TRC to buy diesel standby locomotives. Now, I did tell you earlier that we will be giving you details about the president's speech as he was defending the jurisdiction of the court, and you can easily see the court-martial. This is a statement courtesy of the State House. Now, the president said, I've seen the arguments in the papers by some lawyers regarding the correctness of some civilians being tried in court-martial. I want to affirm that the move was correct and useful, and it has contributed to the stabilization of Uganda. Why? It is the NRM that in the year 2005 enacted this law through Parliament. This was because of the rampant activities of criminals and terrorists that were using guns to kill people indiscriminately. His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni. Now, the other statement also is that individuals, although not soldiers, voluntarily and with evil intentions, acquired killing instruments that should be the monopoly of the armed forces, governed by the relevant laws. Now, this is why the law provided that since you became a soldier, albeit an illegal one, be tried by a court-martial, because it is the one that deals with guns. Statement by the State House. And of course, words coming in from the President, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Here we are. Well, the festive season is just around the corner with 1 week left to go, as we will be heading into the Christmas. And tell you what, it is starting to look a lot more like Christmas. If you move around Kampala, you will definitely see the various decorations on in front of the tallest buildings as well. So I don't know how prepared you are, because Christmas trees are also increasing in terms of prices, Robert. And when we do return after the break, we're going to be talking about this particular season of Christmas. We will be comparing really the previous seasons and how it is being celebrated today. Is it the lack of money that is making things quite difficult or not? What are we not doing right that our fathers and our dear mothers were doing right during the celebrations of Christmas? So you will be part of that conversation here on Good Morning Uganda Friday edition. But also, please do know that we shall be having a fantastic performance coming in from the Streams of Life Choir from Kennedy Secondary School, and what a way to kickstart of the Friday. But for now, our inspirational song of the day is coming in from Azawi. The new year is, the year is coming to an end. So 2025 is here. I am just hoping that 2025 is our year, is Robert is here, and you, our dear viewer. This is My Year by Azawi.
Live from UPC
this week. Now, please do note that we as a country use close to 150 million condoms annually, and condoms are also part of contraceptives, so to say. That wouldn't be the mood I would be starting off with the month of, or this particular weekend. But hey, 1st of December is always World AIDS Day, and amongst the key measures the government has been employing is to ensure that those are some of that many Ugandans can also use contraceptives in order to curb the spread or the infections that are associated with HIV and AIDS. Good morning. I have Robert Chirabo Nyonyitono with me here in studio, and let me check him out to see how he's doing, and in the same regard to understand how the week has been for him and which story stood out for him. A very good morning, Robert.
Sonko, how are you?
I am well. It's Friday.
It's Friday, definitely, and of course we are in this final month of the year. Christmas is just in the window looking at us there. Many people are in the holiday mood, and no fear to talk about condoms. We must call a spade and not a big spoon. When you talk about those many statistics now of how much we use as Ugandans. The question is, are we using them properly? Because we may assume that as contraceptives, as preventative measures concerning sexually transmitted diseases, but are we using them right? That's also another question. Do many people know how to use a condom? Does it end up protecting them against HIV/AIDS? Does it protect them against unwanted pregnancy? People like us who are advocates for children by choice, not chance. Are these condoms working? You hear some talk about it burst, then you ask, how did this happen? Then I'm pregnant, yet I used a condom, I have HIV. So I think it's not only about saying we have very good statistics. Moreover, also condom use seems to be reducing, mostly amongst teenagers. So there's so much, but remember, as you celebrate, your life is very important. Do not indulge in unprotected or unsafe sex this Christmas season. We don't want you to have it down the memory line that was December 2024 when I went to Uganda for my holiday that I did contract HIV/AIDS. Now, the story that has stood out for me, you've mentioned about it, that is the affairs at the court-martial. The president came out, but for me more so, how business was being transacted there, you know, is one of the things that I found very interesting. And also the Martha Karua issue. Now, another lawyer, I think from Angola, jetted into the country. So it's a case that is still very revolving and very interesting, I must say. Now, also the appeal of a certain soldier, if you remember that case that was decided by the Supreme Court this very week, who was sentenced by the court-martial and came to this civil court, civilian court, to appeal. Now, there was a ruling that affairs of the court-martial, these courts have no jurisdiction. That was also a milestone, a judgment, but also affairs in Syria. It's also a talk all over town. You know, when a president who has been there, it's been a lineage, and how these are reacting, you know. There are some footages I saw about the son, and when you move, how he met his death, and when you move around. I think many Ugandans have piqued interest. Most of your closest friends there who give usually news have back the border. I just love the way those guys have information.
No, they listen to lots of radios, and I think they are listening to the political radios. For example, the local best radio stations that give analysis on the situations world over. So someone is listening to, let's say, UBC Red, listening to Star FM. They're listening to all these radios and picking just 2-3 lines. So by the end of the day, they have their own set of information.
What I get there, what I get there, see. That's all. Borders, I just want to give you a credit. Thank you so much for always following events, and I love the way they analyze most of the time. So they were telling us, I don't know, wow. So that is one of the stories actually that has also caught attention this week. And of course, not forgetting the president winding up his Sebei Wealth Creation Tour. Yes.
And also, speaking of that, by the way, I was following the live broadcast of the SEM, and the people of Sebei were in unison, or I should say, they all agreed that he should be their sole candidate for 2026, meaning he's already getting people who believe that he should come in and stand as president. Please remember that we are not yet in the campaigns, by the way, because the electoral roadmap will be kicking off next year in the month of, in the year of 2025. So you should be ready to get into that. But for now, let's get into the local news and international news. First off, the locals.
Well, we'll begin with President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who has expressed concern
over advantage. They uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, every story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Well, good morning and good to have your company here on Good Morning Uganda Friday edition. Here we are. I am with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono. The energy in the studio here is indicative of the weekend, but pretty much, I don't know how the finances are, whether the finances are aligning with that, but Robert is always the happy man on a Friday. He's always the man with the money on a Friday. So to every viewer out there, just know he's the big dog or the big don every Friday. But that said, today we are turning our focus onto something very interesting, and we're going to be looking into how the festive season celebrations have evolved over time. Simply because we are heading into Christmas and just 1 week to the Christmas season, or let's say to Christmas Day. And many people are already traveling to up-country areas. I wonder, though, if you are watching us today, how prepared are you for that? Is it a season that you're looking forward to or not? I am with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono, and you are a viewer who will be commenting on the same in regards to our conversation. Robert, good morning and good to see you here.
A lovely morning to you, Sonko. I love the fact that you're putting on black.
And you're also wearing black.
I told you, for me, black is my color. I don't care if it matches with my skin complexion. I'm just so much into that. You know, someone told me, my better half always says, that does not come well with your skin. These are your colors and all that. But for me, with the black, I just love putting on black. Well, for us, Sonko, who are Friday people, who are pen, it doesn't matter how your wallet is standing. We always have networks. Like today, people of Fort Portal expect me. I'm coming all the way there for journalistic purposes, to look at the city, the tourism city, enjoy the nightlife of Fort Portal. Then I think I'll be back by Monday. I'll be here. So we've also learned to live one day at a time. One day at a time. Okay. Now, you've talked of the festive season. Here is Christmas. And one of the things we must understand is that Christmas, we are celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ. But any celebration comes with merrymaking, definitely. Any celebration comes with gatherings. So if you have a wedding and it is you and your wife and the priest presiding over, you know, even the woman would be like, but what wedding is this? Even if you go to the most expensive hotel in the world, even if you went there, but you're simply 2 or 3 people. So joy usually comes with gathering. I was going to say fellowshipping, but that is, I'm so used to church life. It comes with, not congregating again. It comes with coming together.
Yes.
That is one thing, joy, because you celebrate with people, but it comes also with merrymaking. And merrymaking has an attachment with money. If you're going to enjoy Christmas, definitely you must have money, because you have to buy what to eat, what to drink. Some people have to buy what to put on. So money is very crucial. We are celebrating, it's a religious day that we are celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ, but we must merry-make, we must gather. We must come together. That's why you talk to people moving to the villages. Why people go to the villages on Christmas is to enjoy and celebrate. And to some people, it's a must because they spend 11 months of the year. Some people without going to the village. More so now with the coming of technology, that someone can send money by mobile money. Someone, if the village has good network, they can have WhatsApp video calls. Someone can record a video for you. Someone, you know, there's so much that technology now fills those gaps that a person may not go there physically. And they'll wait for the 25th of December to come together, to dine together, to wine together, and have a very good time together. However, certain things have changed as well. The Christmas of our days when we were young may have some differences to the Christmas of these days. And that is something also that over time I'm observing, that the mood of celebration, the relevancy of celebration, the relevance of celebration, and that vibe, if I may borrow the words from your generation, and that vibe is slowly by slowly reducing. Because if you were to ask Ugandans 50 years back, you would see, or 40 years back, or a few decades back, you would find that Christmas, that mood, the preparation. I remember when I was growing up, we had people we called Wapakas who would come and cultivate our land. But they would even have some amount of money they keep with our mother. And they would collect it and go once for Christmas. Now, I'm told that even women, if they never received a dress, a gomesi, they would leave marriage. You have to go and rectify. Today you may find that someone would say, are you going to the village? No, I'm not going to go. I'll stay in Kampala. Wives would know that now it's time to go to their in-laws during Christmas. How many families now do you see the daughters-in-law coming, spending Christmas with the entire... So there have been some changes. We had these trees. The botanical name disturbs me so much.
Because I wanted to head to that, Robert. Just recently, when you go into the market today, people have normalized buying the artificial Christmas trees because of, you know, the kind of, you know, lifestyle that has really changed over the years. You've mentioned those botanical trees that we used to pluck just a week to Christmas or a day to Christmas. These trees are now shooting to 500,000 Ugandan shillings. Elsewhere, 600,000 Ugandan shillings for a Christmas tree. When you look at the times, the financial aspect of things, let's first look into that bit of the discussion. Do you think back in the day, it was all about the money, or it is us who have made everything financial? Because I don't remember, besides the eating really, I don't remember
buying of new clothes.
And buying of new clothes. I don't remember people overspending as it is today. Is it because of that? Because if you ask someone who doesn't buy the idea of celebrating, let's say Christmas, or being part of these festive celebrations, they will tell you, I am not well off, or I'm not doing well financially, so I would rather chill the day. Let's look at the significance first of all. I want you to first take us through the biblical significance, and then we get into the significance of it from the social aspect.
Now, biblically, and truth is, Jesus was not born on the 25th of December.
Okay.
No. But that date, there is a process to which it was earmarked that we celebrate his birth on 25th of December. Now, Christians all over the world believe that God sent his only son, Jesus Christ, to come and die for our sins. And they believe that a virgin called Mary conceived through the Holy Spirit and gave birth to the Son of God, Jesus Christ. Now, the value attached to Jesus Christ is the reason that every 25th of December we celebrate his birth, that our Savior was born, our Redeemer was born on that particular day. Like you'd find that the sample may not be sure of their birthdays, but then they'll pick a a particular date of the year and say, okay, all said, I was born Sematal. We have those people, more so now people in 80s, 70s. Some are not very sure of the but at least they pick something around there, that talks and what. So that is the significance. We are celebrating the birth of our Savior, Jesus Christ. Globally, everywhere, we do these celebrations. So spiritually, one would say eating, dressing well, drinking so much is not what it would be. It would be you reflecting on your spiritual life, reflecting that if someone came on earth to die for our sins, he was nailed on the cross, spent 3 days in the grave, rose again, and you believe you're going to find that person, and it's the name through which you pray to your Creator. To have that holiness surrounding the day. But guess what happens? Like I said earlier, Christmas, you're going to see some celebrating and drinking themselves silly. I don't know how many are going to contract HIV/AIDS. I can't predict how many are going to conceive and get unwanted pregnancies. Because you hear, Echevuru, this, that, you know. So we do not do the godly celebration most of the times. Actually, a person where someone righteous, holy was born, we indulge in very unfilthy, unrighteous activities.
And that brings me to the other concern, Robert. I've also noticed that in most cases, many Ugandans work from the start of the year and save money for just this season. You find young men, young women working tirelessly, and their main aim is to have the best of their life during the festive season. And by the time we head into January, the pockets start drying out. And I'm happy lately that we've normalized the idea of saving a lot during this season, so that we do not end up in the longest month of the year. In the longest month of the year, that is Jan. But looking at it in that way, many Ugandans really love celebrating Christmas because let's say many Christians really love celebrating Christmas and the season. But today, as we may say, there has been some different, I could say, things are evolving. And today's celebrations are clearly running away from what we grew up with. Back then, you mentioned at the start that people would go to the villages, or let's go to their ancestral homes and, you know, spend time with family. Today, with the rise of modern families, people go to restaurants. I wonder what your comment on that is, because at times marketing companies say this is a season of giving, but this is a season of love, going and sharing with other people. What is your comment on that? The modernity bit of things and the traditional way of doing it.
Well, you cannot resist change nor fight change, because change will change you. But the problem is we've lost so much, Sonko. Truth be told, this modernity, these technologies, we have lost so much. You talked of people saving. I know many people have groups that every month or every week you make some deposit. Now, on the 22nd or 18th there, you gather. So each one gets their savings. And the purpose of this group is to save money for them to enjoy Christmas. Many groups go to the villages there. There are many of these groups. The person is told, every month I deposit my 150. Now this person is getting this whole chunk of money, Sonko. Just imagine, let's take an average person. If every month someone was saving in their group 100,000, that's by December they have 1.2. Now this 1.2 is
in our cash round groups,
yes, is not to buy a goat. That maybe I have a good breed of a goat in the village. Now, by the close of the next year, I'll have 2 or 3 goats. No, it is to go in the mouth. It is to eat, it is to drink, it is to party, which is not bad. But sometimes I listen to stories, I got my 2M, I got my 3M. You know, and just to enjoy. Then January is coming and you're falling in a ditch with your hand money. Now, modernity, what it has taken away, if we have 3 brothers, Sonko, and we would go to our ancestral home with our children, with our wives, then our father is there, our mother is there. First, the unity, the coming together. There's so much we talk about. We get to know each other. We get to know our children. There was that interaction, Sonko, that a family, you would have almost all children of the village return. Now, even if you went to your father's home, those that you've grown up with, you would meet with them. Now, you're meeting with a commissioner, and maybe you're a lower, but your village meant, you get it. So as you're moving around Wuzka, he's there, he's a homeboy. Maybe some important contact sharing would be there. You write around who is driving that car, so and so, son. Hey, even, you know, there was that connectivity. Not only for that family of you, your father, your mother, your brothers, but the neighbors, the children of the neighbors, and all that. There was that unity, knowing and understanding. And also it brought in solving certain issues. Sometimes even people would reconcile. These could be brothers or neighbors. And now when the children are all there, someone says, but I think we should end this. Why don't we reconcile over this issue? And even people would postpone, we will have that over Christmas. Because sometimes 22nd, 23rd, some are already there. 24th, 25th. So there was a lot of things that they could do. Family, they would look at the gardening, of course not go there, but plan. How? So there's so much development that would happen, so much constructive discussions that would happen, so much cohesion that would happen that we've lost today. When you get your wife and your children and you go to some good restaurant where you booked in, you come, you eat, you drink, you know, then after maybe you go for a movie, then you drive home, and that is Christmas. Remember how we used to look for these trees that we have talked about, the Komera?
And then you buy balloons, and then you
buy
start
balloons.
Now, and then you're excited of
yeah.
what Boxing Day looks like.
Even the hardship you go
clothing.
through, you get a tin, you put the stones, then you get the Christmas lights, that working together. All children are moving on the village. Someone comes at your home, if you had those fence on your fence, many of them, they ask Mutuwe, yo, there was that. Even the children were creative. The children would hustle to get this tree. Today, I'm just going to go to the supermarket. And you want a Christmas tree. And
well, to you, our dear viewer, as Robert is sending in his submission, you can also join us and be part of this conversation. The number is 0709 602 592. That is on WhatsApp. And then also via SMS for you to contribute as we are having this conversation. And your bit of the contribution is to really break it down for us from your perspective, how the festive season has evolved over time. So to you, our dear viewer, you can just share your opinion and your thought on how this has evolved over time, because we've seen different changes in the way people are celebrating. People are less mindful lately about the season. Why? What has created that shift? You can be part of this conversation by sharing your comment or your thought on the same matter as we continue with our conversation here. And Robert, yes, you were saying something.
We've lost this evolution of how we used to spend Christmas. One, we've lost creativity. And this is cross-cutting. There is so much that technology and modernity has taken away from us in terms of creativity. I was telling you, we've lost hard work. You know, how you design that Christmas tree would make so much sense. Today, you're seeing it's already designed for you. You can even take a picture. It is there, well displayed. You take a picture, so exactly what you're taking home, you're going to decorate the same way. Previously, these young children, you know, there is so much from 0 to 5 or 0 to 8 years. We want to boost that creativity of this child. Christmas cards, you remember? Today people are sending something online via, you design for me some graphics, Sonko, put pictures, I just copy, send to everyone, wishing you a Merry Christmas, the Nyonyi Ntonos, the Chilabos. Those days it used to take you time to go and buy these Christmas cards. Write sweet messages. Find how they get to these people. I remember sometimes my father would give me these cards to go and give out, drive around, giving. And as you're bringing this Christmas card, you're able to visit Brother Ratoro's home. You go in the evening, hey, Christmas, and there was that love. We would appreciate those simple things. They had meaning. Now, Sonko, if you just use your phone, someone has designed for you something, send it to me on WhatsApp. Merry Christmas. Sometimes as you're delivering the card, you come with a chicken, you come with a goat, you come with banners or something. Sometimes someone is delivering a card with some sugar. You know, we had that. No wonder today we are talking about moral decadency. But what used to hold society together is what we are losing. Hey, this is Bob. Hey, you've grown. You can even now drive. You can come this far. How is so? There is so much that we had. And that person will not bypass you when you're the one who brought the car.
I have seen it very common lately with people from Western Uganda, where during the festive season, when they go for holidays, or for these festive holidays, a week or so, many of them gather around different homes, especially where they grew up from as children, and they kind of interact and throw back memories. And at times I've been told that many even share contacts, and a bit of the networking also continues. I think it's something everyone should really pick up in this kind of generation, because it was so common back in the day. And today that kind of spirit is dying.
Whatever we used to do and cherish, almost 50% of it is gone. I remember there after the youth of the village, maybe there was a football match, and no matter which rank you are or level, because these were your homeboys, you could have been very successful. Some have not made it, but you all go to this pitch. Now that was a unifying factor. If you're in Kampala, you've made your money in Chikubo, you've made your money in the judiciary, you've made your money in the media, where there is that spot where you, even if you're not interested in a soccer, but to see the village boys, then you interact there, you get ideas. So if you are to go back down the memory line regarding how we used to celebrate Christmas and how we celebrate Christmas today, I must say many days back were much better than the celebrations we are having today. Because today we'll even find a brother not turning up. We've thought that we can impress physical presence. Because I may talk to you on phone, but it makes more meaning when I'm talking to you person to person physically, because I can read your facial expressions, your body language. I can read and know, well, Sonko is not being genuine to me, or is simply okaying things. But on phone, I may not be able to see that. Someone will tell you, why do I go to, I'm not going to the village. Why would I travel? Now I'll send them mobile money. I'll put things on the van. I'll be in Kampala. But these parents you've been giving money, also need to know, to hear from you, to listen from you, and to impact some words of wisdom into you, which I'm very sure we are losing day by day. This church, the village church, wow. The priest, that is when he would have to speak to people he sees on TV.
Robert, let's have a conversation here about why some people are shying away from running to the villages during the festive season. In the morning, you shared something to do with our brothers in the border sector. And recently, one of the border guys I used told me he has no plans of going for the festive celebrations back home. And I asked him why. I was very curious to know. And he said the reason is, if I go, for example, in the village with about 200,000 Ugandan shillings, by the time I reach there, I will have to call someone back here in Kampala to send me 20,000 or 30,000 to transport me back. Because the 200,000 that I would go with, I will have to spend it to give to family, buy food, because they definitely expect you to carry some heavy loads of things with you. And then also the friends that you left within those areas also expect you to be the big boss. And he also said as a person working in Kampala, you also have to show that you have some money. So there is also that element of pretense that you have to show people that you've been working, whether you have the money or not. But now, if you do not have it, you don't go. Should we say people in the villages only want to see us when we have something for them? Or?
The problem is what you've created. I must say, many Ugandans want to live artificial lives and give false impression. It's sad that some children even want to paint that to their parents. That's how stupid we've gone. I'm sorry to use that word. You don't want to bring the reality to your father, to your mother, to your wife, to your children. That plastic life. These people in the village don't want money from you coming in Kampala. But you've created an impression that you have money. Same like these people who jet into the country. Leave alone those that go to the Arab world. But the previous people used to call Basama. People living in diaspora that come during December. Someone is sleeping in caravans, going through a very hectic life in the US or UK. Now they save so much, and when they come here, they want to create a false impression that they're the kings and queens of the Western world. You know, they hire expensive cars, they sleep in hotels. Now also for us, we got to understand that no, whoever is in the UK, is in the US, has a lot of money. And when they come, you hear Musama Wande Tedechi, did you bring me iPhone 15? Did you bring me this? Because the false impression that we create. Now, over a time, that's why someone says that if I go with 200, the problem is it is very good for you to cut a coat according to your cloth. It's safer for you that way. You go to the village, you say, yes, have come. If you're 5, 6, people are making contributions, this is what I can afford. Because these people, what is wrong if you go and you carry a shopping of maybe about 50,000? Spend within your means. But because of this false impression that you always want to create, a person is riding a border in Kampala, he's telling people in the village, I own a shop. You know, I own a washing bay.
Robert,
so our expectations also, blame us not for us the villagers. If you're owning all these, you take pictures.
Robert, this one says, good morning, Jerome and Robert. Unlike the good old days, Christmas nowadays is not that a big deal. Our parents used to start Christmas preparations as early as August, plan for travels, new attires, gifts, etc. And by the time we reach the December season, everyone could feel it's a special month, and people used to celebrate together, whereby people would plan for Christmas in a week to the D-Day. Some buy even the food on the very day, and others eat from hotels. Many go for work on the day still. Now, family members are scattered with less communication, and above the day, even seem to be stressful to some people and inconvenience their jobs, so they pray it passes quickly. So the answer is lost totally. The question is, what went wrong? Cricket Derek Gargamel from Makindye Luwafu. Cricket shares a very pertinent concern here that people tend to now look at their jobs as more important. And well, of course, we greatly understand because of the state of the economy. And not so many companies are even giving people these leaves. So let's say maybe a 2-week work leave, or let's say a 1-week work leave. So I wonder though, because he's asking, what went wrong? Let's look into that, Robert. People are distancing themselves away from family and friends. What might be the problem? Is it the money? Is it mental health? Is it mental health related issues? Or is it because of growth? Because that also happens.
The number of issues. First, we can't rule out money. We can't rule out money, because if you have to travel, you need money. Now, if you don't have money, how are you going to travel? You need money. If you're going to be part of this merrymaking, it was your parents doing that for you, what we call the good olden days. Now it is you, the mature people. They're looking at you to come with maybe 25 kgs of rice. They're looking at you to bring the crates of beer. If you do take beer as a family, there's so much. They're looking at you, the children. Now, someone would sit and say, if I don't have money, Why should I stress myself to be a burden, and in some families to look ashamed? You know, so have you ever gone to a place, and maybe everyone has made some meaningful contribution, and you've not made, but you must be there. You know, there's a way you don't, you feel lacking. You feel lacking. So someone, poverty, a lack of money, yes, has led to a number of people failing to socialize, to gather together as a family during Christmas. But also, that false impression, false image, false branding of ourselves has also done much. That you know, you paint a picture of what you're not. Then society demands of what the picture you've painted believes you are.
And then
then the two collide. And when they collide, it's a Sonko, the TV presenter. Now this Sonko owns, Sonko goes to apartments Brother Atoro is building. A man who worked for so long takes pictures. 2024, what an achievement. You know, goes to vehicles. 2025, here I come in a new ride. So, for us to expect Sonko has money. Now Sonko is caught up. We have a family budget that let everyone contribute 1M, 1M. Sonko touches the head and is like, where am I going to get this money?
Because you don't have it.
Yes.
But now, Robert, away from that conversation, there is the bit of being the security aspect of things. During the festive season, we do have quite a number of accident cases that are reported, robbery scenarios,
yeah, but
not
very
so many,
on an increase,
but they increase in isolated areas, I should say, because it's the festive season, people are out for enjoyment. And then others are violated in ways that they cannot explain at times during the festive season. The drunkards are always up and running, the alcoholics during that time. Young boys and girls are having the best time of their lives.
Visit some beaches around the Entebbe.
Exactly, but when you look at this state of enjoyment and you know, what would be the best way? Okay, we cannot really determine how someone should enjoy their life, but they should be mindful of how they do this particular incident. Now, from your side of things, and quite a number of you know, lessons you've picked out from your journalistic years of the celebrations and the things that have gone south instead of going in the right direction, what would be your advice?
First, statistics show that every towards Christmas, actually the month of November, December, crime tends to increase. House breakings, all forms of crime. You know why? Because even these people want to make ends meet to celebrate Christmas. Burglary, the house breakings we're talking about. So it is a very moment of the year where you must be very careful about your property, about your life. Some people are simply going to close their homes with nobody remaining, and they choose to go for Christmas. Now, lawbreakers are also aware. These guys wreck. They know you, they follow you, and they'll know that this house was left unattended to. Now, when you return from Christmas, property has been stolen already. Excitement. You've talked about drunken driving. We're in a time of merrymaking. And I remember when General Kale Kaihura was at the helm of police, there was one Christmas a year where police hired vehicles to take drunkards home. That if you're so drunk, call this number, they will drive you home at your expense. It worked because accidents were so much and as a result of drunken driving. So there was a number to call. And some people did enjoy that number to call. So remember, this is not going to be the last Christmas of your life unless you choose it to be or make it to be. There is life after Christmas. There is life after the 31st and entering of the new year. So drunken driving is one of the biggest causes of accidents at this time, but also not planning our journeys. So we are talking about celebrating, but people in Uganda do not manage time very well. A Sonko has to finish a show here on Christmas that ends at 10, and the very Sonko wants to be in Kakuto, almost the border of Uganda and Tanzania, to have a meal with family. It is almost next to impossible. So Sonko will cruise, and as he's cruising, he's on phone. And on phone deceiving people. I'm sorry to use my brother's name. Don't say that's what he does. They're asking him, where are you? Tuse Murwera, guess where Sonko is? He's around this roundabout of Busega. Hey, Katukulindeko, let's wait to eat. He's coming, he's coming. What should I bring you? Now, Sonko is running to have that meal with family, driving. The next thing they call, and someone picks a phone and tells them, he has not made it, he has had an accident. Plan your journey. Some people, you're like, I won't go for Christmas. Now, on that day, people, you see recordings of videos, so-and-so has gone, so-and-so has gone. You get on your bike, you get on your car, you run to a taxi, and now you've picked that interest. Now, let me also go. I'll come back the next day. So, accidents due to drunken driving, accidents due to overspeeding are very common, and we should watch out. And also crimes like house breakings. Sonko leaves nobody at his home, just parks what he can park. Sometimes he hurriedly doesn't even lock properly. Sonko goes to the village. So those are the three major accidents as a result of drunken driving and overspeeding, but also house breakings. Some of these, you make yourself very vulnerable. Some people even reckless behavior. Moving at night excessively. You're drunk, you're moving late hours of the night. As for you, you've got what to celebrate Christmas with. There's someone who is planning to get what you have to celebrate Christmas also. So you have your phone, you've designed very well. Hey, the cowboy of the village has returned. So for you, you think you can drink in any bars, as you've been doing here in Kororo and everywhere, where there is a gun here, there is a gun there, there is a gun there. You're bringing your Kampalanense to these urban centers in rural areas. They are spotting you. That is the guy who works on TV. He has come. Oh, innocent. They are waiting for you to get their Christmas on you or from you. So you must be mindful that I'm not that very safe. Temuja, you always tell people from the village that sometimes they come with their maro. That is the word you use. But don't take your city maro to the village as well, because they also have their hot spots. Don't assume villages are very, very safe. They also have their dark spots. They also have their hot spots. That when you pass there and here, there are some youth in the village who have become a problem. They'll get you. So I want you alive. Go celebrate. Plan your journeys on time or in time. Don't drink and drive. And if there's also another cause of accidents, you've just gotten money to buy a car. You've been driving from Nigeria to UBC. Now this time, you want to drive that car to show people in the village that one of the blessings God has given you 2024 is a car. You get on the road. You're going to Buhweju. You're going to Kisoro. Very far. But you've been driving from work here and within town. Now you hit the road with no experience of long distance driving.
And you're driving.
Then you get fatigued, you don't know the corners, you've taken a year not going to the village.
Okay, Robert, as we're winding up with our conversation this morning, I want us to also look into, because as we are looking at the festive season, we also need to stretch it to the new year. New Year celebrations have also grown over time. Back in the day, not so many people would be out of their houses during the New Year's. Many had fears of the unknown, and they would rather just sleep it off. Today, and like the past 10 years or so, many people have been celebrating New Year's in a different style. Either they're going out for concerts, others decide to go to the bars. The majority of the faithfuls choose to go to church. Various overnights are held so that they enter the year with the word of prayer. Looking into that, that is also part of the festive season. It is evolving. However, it has not changed as much because it's the New Year's really, and people are expecting a lot of what the New Year begins, how the New Year begins. Let's look into that a bit of New Year's also.
As you're looking at how these things have evolved, now we have fireworks almost everywhere. the Ruben Impima Chibidango, the brother Ratoros, Madame Christine, and some of the elders we have on the team will tell you that many years back, it was only Sheraton Hotel that would display fireworks. And it was something very strange. You'd hear stories, they lit the sky. Last 31st, or well, the evening ushering in the new year, because it's given, fireworks goes off at around midnight. Once it's midnight, that's when they begin. Police gazetted or authorized countrywide over 300 venues for fireworks.
Because they even beat the fireworks.
Places of worship. Almost now, if you're going to have people somewhere, fireworks is a must.
You have to.
Hey, as you're ushering it, now it's a must, almost a must. And it's an attractor of people. Overnight, there will be fireworks. Now, you lose that. Namirembe Cathedral, Rubaga, everywhere I mention these places of worship. Now, think of your security first. That yes, I'm going out. If you're going to sleep at that venue till morning, how am I going back home? I know those that go to places of worship at midnight. Now, after ushering in the new year, they enter bars. Here you've been with praying, talking, and what? Now they enter bars. From the bars, they are mad drunk. And you're sleeping in a place that's not that very secure. But also remember, there's also a trend every 31st, if you've observed. Much as police has tried to reduce it, we have the B13s, the Kakora, these young boys, they're from the age of about 13, 14, 15. Most of the time of that years as we usher in the new year, those boys storm streets and steal and rob people. Remember, it was 2023, yes, around Duster Street, Radio 1, that area. Duster Street, around the Bank of Uganda, they worked on people. There are gangs like 30, one comes 40, 50. Once it clocks midnight, that excitement.
Interestingly, I was once, I was almost a victim one time from the same street. You remember that ShopRite stretch? As you're moving from Energy Center, you're stretching down to ShopRite, opposite a Shell station there. And it was around 2 a.m. So I was done with church and I had to travel away. I was heading to Kajansi. And I had to get off the border, I think around Nakasero Market. So I said, let me walk through. It's a new year, people are still out. And there were quite many boys out there with borders and with very funny attires, and you could easily see that they're up to something.
So that is also, now, your movements, your night movements are something, if they are not safe, stay where you are. If you've gone to a bar, make sure you're going to leave at 6. If you've gone for prayers, sleep there. If you've gone to watch fireworks, be there, unless you're well sure that you're safe enough to get home.
Now, listen, says, this is Ngonzi. Oh, Ngonzi Joseph doesn't have a comment. He's just saying good morning to us. But Robert, as we are beating up this conversation now, the new year is here, the festive season is here. I would like to pick your message, not advice, your message to our dear viewer. The festive season is here. They've been with us throughout this journey. Today is not Christmas, but at least the season is fast approaching. I've been through town recently. I've seen, let's say, Church House. I've seen Boulevard. I've seen quite a number of buildings around town who have already decorated the Christmas festivities. And if you access the buildings, you will see a Christmas tree somewhere. At the front, you can easily see the decorations up and running, even the central bank. So what would be your message to our dear viewers?
What annoys me is most of these organizations, they are Christmas trees. There are boxes there packed as gifts, yet there is nothing.
Because the passerbys might take them.
They're just empty boxes there, but they're for us, we're used to Boxing Day. I grew up expecting a gift. So when I saw a Christmas tree, my memory runs back to what my father and mother would wrap, and I would be excited waiting for Boxing Day. Some families, these memories now are no longer there. Now, one, live within your means. Don't stretch so much. There's life after Christmas and the 31st. So live within your means. 2, be aware that as you're merrymaking, as you're jubilating, there's someone targeting you to make ends meet. It's a peaceful country, no doubt about that. But even when children of God gathered, the devil came along. So be aware that there is someone out there. Don't be scared. The country is calm. Police is doing all their best, the army and all the security agencies. But that doesn't rule out. If you're going to the village, ensure your home is very, very safe. If you're in the village, because now it is urban-rural migration, please don't take your Kampala ship in there, assuming you're in these high-end places where everything is secure. You don't know the roadmap, that you don't know the geography. If you're going to drive, and I want to emphasize this, please, if you've taken long to drive along that road, to take that route going to your village, go slow, because there is so much road construction happening, Sonko, that where you passed went very smooth. Now UNRWA or what, they have made a sharp corner. Recently we were cruising through Hoima Road as bikers for charity, but we had passed that road about a few months when we lost one of our friends, Sammy. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Now we go back for charity. Some roads were in a messy situation, worked upon. So if you've taken long, if you've not been driving wrong routes, please save us and save yourself. Hire us, get someone who knows that place very well to take you. I just want to wish you a very, very happy Christmas celebrations. Remember, we are celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ. Don't forget to celebrate within the confines of our faith as Christians. That drinking silly, indulging in unsafe and protected, all that immorality. We don't want to see pictures of naked people, naked, funny things, yet we're celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ. Let's not forget, it's Jesus Christ's birthday, and we owe to live lives that are Christ-like.
Now, Robert, the preacher, ends that conversation here. And thank you very much for being part of this particular one. Now, the festive season is fast approaching, meaning we have to be very mindful of the choices and how we choose to celebrate. I've been seeing memes all over social media where people are saying that if they send you a message of Oliwa, just dress up. In fact, the message was by 5.
Be ready.
Be ready. Just dress up by 5 p.m. and be ready to return any day. You may leave on Friday 5 p.m. and return on Sunday because it's the festive season. And well, remember, there are certain people who are already on leave. So if at all you have a job to work on Saturday, you have to be very mindful. You might lose it before the year ends. But also that said, please be mindful of how you choose to spend, how you choose to drive during this festive season. We would all wish to enter the new year safe and sound without any problems, and in regards to our health, but also checking on your loved ones, sharing. It's a season of love and sharing, so it's very important for us to do that, because it's a season where you're supposed to get together with everyone. Like Robert has shared, from the Christian perspective or doctrines, it is a celebration of the life of Jesus Christ. And a comment from Solomon Ebong from Park, saying he's watching and wishing us a Merry Christmas. Thank you very much, Solomon Ebong, for being part of this. Then Oluk Patrick Criminal. Oluk Patrick, criminals remain Kampala. I think he's trying to mean criminals don't go to the village. They should remain in Kampala. Okay, Patrick. But well, of course, also Kampala doesn't need to have criminals. So we should have a criminal-free environment or surrounding, whether in the up-country areas, in the villages, or within the city centers. Now, when we do return after the break, at the top of the hour, we shall be heading into some bit of the movie recommendations. The festive season is here, and I should definitely be giving you some good...
Home Alone.
Home Alone.
Wow.
Home Alone.
That movie.
You know, Baby's Day Out. There are some of those movies for Christmas. And, well, there are lots of Christmas recommendations that we have for you. So be part of this at the top of the hour when we return. This is GMU Friday edition.
I recommend Home Alone for the little one.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, every story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Welcome to Good Morning Uganda, your go-to morning show to kickstart your day with all the latest updates.
Let's dive deep into issues that matter most to you.
In a world of stories waiting to be told, the headlines are your guide. Navigate the currents of news and knowledge with our daily updates of newspapers. Stay informed, stay empowered.
From the roar of the crowd to the thunder of victory, witness the drama unfold with our sports updates. Whether on the field or in the stands, join us as we celebrate the spirit of champions.
Rise with Good Morning Uganda, weekdays from 6:30 a.m. Pick of the day on UBC.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Every Friday 9 p.m., it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the MyMTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, assigned Uganda Prison Service a task to produce food and animal feeds. This was a directive of July 2022 to Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries to allocate land to Uganda Prison Service for food production. The allocation totaled to 50,000 acres, in which 30,000 acres is maize grain, 10,000 acres soya beans, and 10,000 acres sorghum. Areas allocated to Uganda Prison Service include Aswa Farm in Pade district, northern part of Uganda.
This is Aswa Farm, originally from Aswa Ranches, land which was handed over to Uganda Prison Service by Minister of Agriculture for food security intervention, and which came in as a necessity by the government program. And this one arose out of the food scarcity that was happening in the country, and the government through MAI felt that we should produce food. And this intervention includes Uganda Prison Service.
Bush clearing here started on the 10th of October 2022, and it is progressing on well. Apparently, we have covered acreage of 1,000 acres, which is being prepared.
Uganda Prison Service embarked on an ambitious effort to transform access to Aswa group of prisons, and in so doing is bridging gap for local communities. The construction of new roads and bridges has significantly improved accessibility to the facility, paving way for enhanced economic opportunities and sustainable development.
Our manager as a technical person in this place. It is a new farm among the new farms which are introduced for food security, and we are seated on an acreage of about 30,000 acres.
As of now, about 2,000 acres is under cultivation for commercial maize production, with several harvests already realized over time. Additionally, storage facilities are being established to ensure efficient handling and distribution of produce.
We are happy that in the neighborhood of Rugole, we are putting a silo, which is going to be a bulk storage, and whole produce from here can be evacuated and taken to Rugole.
An agricultural engineer deployed in Rugole Prison Farm. I am most welcome to Rugole Prison, and this is the silo project, which has a capacity of 3,000 metric tons. It is meant to help in improving the storage capacities and also improving on the post-harvest handling mechanisms.
Projected that in the next 3 to 4 years, Uganda Prison Service is expected to complete the overall 30,000 acres through establishment of more prison facilities within an agricultural complex.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
All right, good morning and good to see you being part of our show this morning. Here we are into our movie recommendations of this weekend. Now, I do have some good movies that you can look through and get your weekend started this very Friday. Top of the agenda is Joker. Now, Joker in French, Folie à deux Choux. I'm hoping I've pronounced it in the right way. But it's a 2024 American jukebox musical, psychological thriller, which is directed by Todd Phillips from a screenplay he co-wrote with Scott Silver, loosely based on DC Comics characters. It is a sequel to Joker of the 2019. Then Joaquin Phoenix reprises his role as the Joker with Lady Gaga as his love interest. Lee Quizel, Zazie Beetz, and Leigh Gill also reprise their roles, while Brendan Gleeson, Catherine Keener, Steve Coogan, and Harry Lottie join the cast. Now, it is produced by Warner Bros. Pictures in association with Joint Effort and was distributed by Warner Bros. Pictures. Now, Joker was conceived as a standalone film, although Warner Bros. Pictures intended the film to launch a DC Black film series. Now, Phillips, director of Joker, expressed interest in making it a sequel, which was announced in June 2022, with Gaga and Beetz joining later that year. Now, principal photography took place in New York City, Los Angeles, and Belleville, New Jersey, from December 2022 to April 2023. Now, the Joker Folie à deux Choux premiered at the 81st Venice International Film Festival on September 4th, 2024, and was released in the United States on October 4th. Now, this film was not well received by critics and performed poorly at the box office, grossing about $206 million worldwide. Let's first have a look at the trailer.
They believe Arthur Fleck to be some kind of martyr. Well, he's not. There's a monster.
When you're smiling, when you're smiling.
When I first saw Joker, when I saw you,
the whole world smiles with you.
for once in my life, I didn't feel so alone anymore.
When you're laughing, oh, when you're laughing, the sun comes shining through. For once in my life, I have someone who needs me.
How about you, Arthur? Do you still think you're a star?
Showtime. The whole world smiles with you.
You can do anything you want.
The sun comes.
You're Joker.
Look around, look at all these people. I will no longer allow any of you
So stop your sighing.
to keep me down.
Be happy again.
I got the sneaking suspicion that we're not giving the people what they want.
It's okay, baby. Let's give the people what they want.
Now, in an animated sequence, the Joker is impersonated by his shadow, who acts violently and takes his place to perform his singing number for a TV show. Abandons him on stage before 3 police officers arrive and attack him. Now, Arthur Fleck is in custody at Arkham Estate Hospital, in trial for the crimes he committed 2 years prior. His lawyer, Marion Stewart, argued that Arthur suffers from dissociative identity, this social active identity, and his Joker personality is responsible for these crimes. Now, at a musical therapy session, Arthur meets Helen Lee Quizel, who claims that she grew up in the same neighborhood as he did. an abusive father who died in a car crash and was imprisoned after burning down her parents' apartment building. Lee also expresses her admiration for the Joker's crimes and personality. Now, during a film screening, Lee starts a fire. She and Arthur are caught trying to escape, and Arthur is placed in a solitary confinement. Lee visits him to say she's being released to avoid his influence, but promises to attend his trial. During an interview with television personality Paddy Mayers, Arthur sings to Lee through the TV screen, deepening her love for him. Now, that is part of the plot of this particular one. Now, looking at the cast, Phonics glazing towards the camera. There's Lady Gaga glazing towards the camera, and of course, in the same regard, there's Brendan Gleeson as Jackie Sullivan, an abusive guard at Arkham State Hospital. Catherine Keener as Marion Stewart, Arthur's lawyer. Zazie Beetz as Sophie Dumond, a single mother and Arthur's former neighbor, whom Arthur imagined being in a romantic relationship with. Then there is Steve Coogan as Paddy Mayers, a popular TV personality who interviews Arthur in Arkham. Now, movie number 2 is a movie titled Greedy People in our recommendations for this Friday. Now, Greedy People is a 2024 American crime comedy film which was directed by Potsy Pochiroli and written by Michael Vukandinovich. Now, the film stars Himish Patel, Lily James, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Simon Rex, Tim Blake Nelson, Joey Lauren Adams, Uzo Aduba, and Jim Gaffigan. Now, this film was theatrically released in the United States on August 23rd, 2024 by Lionsgate. Let's have a look at the trailer.
New guy.
Officer Shelley.
Will.
Officer Brogan here is going to show you the ropes. Play nice.
I really just got one piece of advice. Don't kill anybody unless you really have to, because that shit is messy. This is Providence, man. Nothing happens here.
Calling car 2, calling car 2.
Police, come out with your hands up!
What the fuck?
Sorry, man. You gotta stay calm, okay?
Fuck you! I'll show you calm you. Go to sleep, fucker!
Me? What the fuck happened, Will? It was my #1 piece of advice! Don't kill anybody unless you have to! We can get out of this. We make it look like a murder. We clean our tracks. We take the money and pin it on someone else. Have you done this before?
Sir, you notice anything that was missing?
Place is a mess, but no, not one thing.
Where is the money?
I don't have the money. I came to your house to kill your wife, but your wife was already killed. Somebody else killed her? Well, that's just awful.
What services did you provide for Mrs. Chetlow?
Mostly massage.
Tell them about the dancing.
What kind of dancing?
Or sometimes, you know.
What kind of son did I raise?
Shut up, Ma.
Tell anybody. Hey, babe, don't let on that you know anything.
I just want to see if we can trust him.
I'm gonna get to the bottom of this.
Tomorrow night, we go get the money and take off.
Listen, Paige, just be careful around here.
Maybe it's not possible to live a good life.
Well, looking at the plot of this particular movie, police officer Willie Shelley moves to a Providence, a small island town, with his pregnant wife, Paige. And While at the hardware store, Paige encounters a hitman known as Irishman. On his first day at his new job, Captain Murphy introduces Will to his new partner, Terry Brogan. Now, on his low crime rate, Terry decides to visit his girlfriend. And while in his car, Will hears a call for a sexual act in a vehicle, but mistakes it for a burglary at the Chetlow residence. Terry doesn't hear Will's skulls, and Will responds to the call alone. When he arrives, he shoots his gun at the sudden movement of Virginia Chetlow. Now, upset by the encounter, Virginia attacks Will, and in the resulting scuffle, Virginia is accidentally killed. And after Terry arrives at the house and realizes that they both and realizes that they both will lose their jobs, the two decide to cover up the event as a murder before Terry finds a large bag of cash in the drawing room. Now, as Will is about to become a father and Terry plans to on running away with his girlfriend, Terry stages the house to look like a burglary gone wrong, and they decide to keep the money in Terry's storage truck. And the night, Will goes home and confesses about the murder and the money to Paige, giving her the storage truck his passcode, but blames the murder on Terry. Now, Paige invited Terry to dinner to see if he was a danger to their family. The dinner makes Paige visibly uncomfortable with Terry. Looking at the cast, Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Officer Terry Brogan, then Himesh Patel as Officer Willie Shelley, Lily James as Paige, Tim Blake Nelson as Wallace Chetlow, Tracy Loads as Virginia Chetlow, Joy Lauren Adams as Bobette, Uzo Aduba as Murphy, Jim Gaffigan as Irishman, and Simon Rex as Keith Crawford. Now, the film was initially titled The Problem with Providence in May 2022. It was announced the filming was starting with Lily James, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Himesh Patel appearing in the limelight. Boys Sheila Entertainment and Hideout Pictures financed and produced the film, which was directed by Pozzi Ponchirello and written by Michael Vukadinovich. Producers are David Boyes, Zach Schiller, Shannon Hawkins, Dylan Sellers, and Chris Parker, with executive producers of Tyler Zaccharia, Sam Slater, Phil Keff, Dan Eckler with Vukadinovich. On May 13th, it was revealed that Tim Blake Nelson, Uzo Aduba, Simon Rex, Nina Arianda, Jim Gaffigan, Jose Maria Yasbik, and Joy Lauren Adams had joined the cast. Filming took place in Southport, North Carolina between May 9th and June 11, 2022, and in October 2023 it was retitled Greedy People and released in February 2024. Now, our last movie recommendation of the day is The Forge, which is a 2024 American Christian drama film directed by Alex Kendrick and co-written by Stephen Kendrick. A spin-off to War Room, it is the Kendrick brothers' 9th film and the 6th through their subsidiary Kendrick Brothers production. A look at the trailer.
One of your little friends that's gonna let you sleep on their couch for.
Your grandfather drove this?
My dad told me he was gonna fix it up with me.
This is the way he left it. Like everything else.
You are my son, but I'm giving you 1 month to find a job, or you can find one of your little friends that's gonna let you sleep on their couch for free.
Can I help you?
I'm just trying to talk to a young lady right here.
I need for you to leave my shop right now.
I'm gone. And I won't be back either.
That's something right there your father would do.
Well, I ain't him.
You acting like him. Boy! It's hard for a woman to call out the man and her son. I just need some prayer support.
I'm just trying to see about a job, right? I ain't here about nothing. What, you a salesman for this company?
I'm the president. That's for more. A big part of becoming a man is showing up. Can you do that, Isaiah?
I'm hearing all these promises.
Oh, Mars! When my sister tells me that she needs prayer support, honey, I bring prayer support.
Am I in the right place?
Miss Clara!
We pray that the Lord will open Isaiah's eyes so that he could see himself the way that the Lord sees him.
You're 50 minutes early.
Hey, try not to be late again.
I want to introduce you to a small group of men that mean the world to me.
We grow together, we eat together. It's one of the most important things I've ever done in my life.
God has forgiven me so much. Who was I to refuse to forgive?
Okay, Jesus, I give it to you.
What kind of man do you want to be? And what do you want people to think when they see you coming?
We only got 6 of us, 7 including Emmett. I'm willing to go the second mile. We can't just walk out and do nothing. Let's roll.
If I may be blunt, a man stands in front of me. Isaiah, welcome to the Forge.
All right, now the film was released in the United States on August 23rd, 2024, receiving positive reviews from critics and audiences, and grossing $40 million worldwide against a $5 million budget and garnered Alex Kendrick's 4th A+ on Cinema Score. Now, looking into the cast of this one, Cameron Arnett plays as Joshua Moore, Priscilla Shaira as Cynthia Wright, Elizabeth is identical twin sister, then Aspen Kennedy as Isaiah Wright, Cynthia's teenage son, Karen Amber Crombie as Miss Clara Williams, T.C. Starlings as Tony Jordan, Elizabeth's husband, reprising his role from War Room, B.J. Arnett as Janelle Moore, Joshua's wife, Ken Bevel as James, Benjamin Watson as himself, Jonathan Evans as Jonathan, Jerry Shira as Vaughan, and Tommy Woodward as Bobby. Now, Marian Harland as Wanda, and then Alena Pitts as Daniel Jordan, as Elizabeth and Tony's daughter, also Cynthia's niece, reprising her role from War Room. Now, The Forge was distributed by Sony Pictures, releasing on August 23rd, 2024. Well, that does it for our movie recommendations. When I do return, I'm going to take you into Matters Sport. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, every story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwao.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles.
Having disability is not inability.
Every Friday 9 p.m., it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwao.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by.
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100*21# and select daily, or use the MyMTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning. My name is Ruben.
MP Machivirango. Of course, I'm going to give you sports. I have a lot to talk about in a few minutes before we join the choir that will be entertaining us for the carols. We have games that will be played tomorrow and, of course, on Sunday. I'll pick out a few of the games, Julius, if you allow me, that I can share with the viewer out here. Or out there, rather, not out here. What am I speaking this morning, anyway? Before the choir joins in, like I said, I will be taking you through sport. And tomorrow we have games that will be played. That will be the early kickoff. No, the late kickoff actually. The games will be at 6. There is no early kickoff tomorrow. We'll have Arsenal against Everton. That will be at 6. That will be at Emirates. Then Liverpool take on Fulham. That will be at Anfield. Then Newcastle, Leicester, Wolves, Ipswich, and Forest will take on Villa. That will be the late game at 8:30. Then, of course, at 5 on Sunday, Brighton will take on Palace. We'll have City against United in the Manchester Derby. That will be at 7:30. Then at 10, there will be Chelsea against Brentford. 10 as well, there will be the Saints against Spurs, and Bournemouth will take on West Ham. That will be at 11 on Sunday. Then, of course, in the Wow. I'm looking for the French League 1 and La Liga as well. We have games that will be taking place in French League 1 and, of course, in the Serie A. On your screen is the French League 1. True will take on Saint-Etienne. Marseille against Lille. Auxerre will take on Lens. And Reims will take on Monaco. Montpellier will take on Nice. Then Brest against FC Nantes. Those will be the games tomorrow in France. Then they have will take on Strasbourg. Rennes will take on Angers. And PSG will take on Olympique Lyon. That's a good game to catch at 10:45 there. Then, of course, in the Serie A, we have a couple of games as well. Tomorrow, Empoli will take on Torino at 10, today actually, at 10:45. Then tomorrow, Cagliari against Atalanta. Udinese will take on Napoli. Juve, Venezia, Lecce, Monza. Bologna will take on Fiorentina. Parma will be in action against Verona. Como against Roma. AC Milan, Genoa. And then lastly, Lazio will take on Inter. That's a good game, Lazio against Inter at the Stadio Olimpico in Rome. Then we'll have other games. Before I go to NBA, there will be other games that I can't talk about. Okay, I'll just do this. I'll allow Michael and myself to do that at lunchtime. But of course, in NBA, Julius will have the games in NBA, and as early as the 3 a.m. tomorrow morning, the Cavs will take on the Wizards. The 76ers will take on the Pacers. The Bulls against the Hornets. The Grizzlies will take on the Nets. The Wolves against the Lakers, the Nuggets against the Clippers, and then the Jazz, the Suns, the Blazers against the Spurs, the Pacers against the Pelicans, the Magic will take on the Knicks, then the Wizards will take on the Celtics, Spurs, Wolves, Suns, Blazers, and Warriors against the Mavericks. That will be in the NBA for you. Now, right about now, I have got to hand over to John Paul Sonko and the choir. They have a lot to share with us. The carols, I love the young girls here and the boys who have come through to entertain us, and you'll be witnessing one of the best choirs we've had in Uganda here. Those who have the carols, you've got to know that UBC TV will always find something entertaining for you. And this Friday is a special Friday where we have the choir that you've not seen on your screens. You were used to having those choirs from prominent churches. Tonight, like you see on your screen, the girls are very smart and ready to take us through. They are very, very ready to give you the Christmas carols, and the Christmas will be coming on the 25th of December. That will be a Wednesday. So I've got to hand over to the choir as we proceed. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, They uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Welcome to Good Morning Uganda, your go-to morning show to kickstart your day with all the latest updates.
Let's dive deep into issues that matter most to you.
In a world of stories waiting to be told, the headlines are your guide. Navigate the currents of news and knowledge with our daily updates of newspapers. Stay informed, stay empowered.
From the roar of the crowd to the thunder of victory, witness the drama unfold with our sports updates. Whether on the field or in the stands, join us as we celebrate the spirit of champions.
Rise with Good Morning Uganda, weekdays from 6:30 a.m. Pick of the day on UBC.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Every Friday 9 p.m., it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100*21# and select daily or use the MyMTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model, PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, They uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Well, the year is 2024, and if they asked you to name a song of the year, you will definitely not leave out a song called Lukusuta. A song that cut across not only from the gospel realm, but also in the secular world of things. This very morning, on the 13th day of December 2024, we bring to you an amazing choir here on Good Morning Uganda Friday edition. And this particular one is the Streams of Life Choir from Kennedy Secondary School. Now, for many of you who have made their plight along Entebbe Road, this particular name does not sound for the first time, because for the people who have been through various school competitions over the years have really got to know the vocal prowess of the school choirs of Kennedy Secondary School over the years. Now, let me first of all introduce the artists I have here on stage, the choir itself. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, welcome to Good Morning Uganda today.
Thank you.
And to you, our dear viewer, the Streams of Life Choir is just here to make sure they put you into the spirit as we are heading into Sabbath, which is tomorrow, by the way. And in the same regard, also ushering you into the weekend, filled up with lots of festivities. This is Good Morning Uganda Friday edition. And here, our dear viewer, is the Streams of Life Choir from Kennedy Secondary School.
Ogenda kunyuka ensi njagala omanye ekyo wekyajja naye nga olitwala ki ekikuleetera okukyawa n'oyuzaawo Oluganda. Wajja bwereere ebikukyayisa abalala bikyamu, guma olyekaako muleke alyeka n'ogwo gwe mukwano. Mwana wa tato temulira kyobuna omusaayi, ekyo kigoli mu supa nze funa nakanga katona sike kinene kyaki. Agamba sookanulira bwereere, wajja bwereero kayanira bwereere, ebikumala muteri kye wajja nakyo kimanye. Chiyoleka emirerembe, wajja bwereere oddayo oli mwereere, ebyo byokuma bagabane ku bwereere, duniya ya Mukama tuli mu kubwereere, era tetemera bwereere, agamba sookanulira bwereere, wajja bwereero kayanira bwereere, ebikumala muteri kye wajja nakyo kimanye. Chiyoleka emirerembe, wajja bwereere oddayo oli mwereere, ebyo byokuma bagabane ku bwereere, duniya ya Mukama tuli mu kubwereere, era tetemera bwereere. Amazima omululu gwaki, ebyabanaku mubba byaki, osanga amamotoka 3 n'oguyumba ogunene, nga waliwo abagisuula bayibuli musoma zaaki, kyemmanyi Mukama gyali, mabanyaga era abanaku n'abatesobola, Mukama abalaba, luli kyalumu yetalimba, musasulire buli maziga, ki ekikulwanyisa ensenno, obulamu n'obubuza, agamba sookanulira bwereere, wajja bwereero kayanira bwereere, ebikumala muteri kye wajja nakyo kimanye kiyoleka emirerembe wajja bwerere oddayo ni mwerere ebyokuma bagabane ku bwerere duniya ya mukama tuli mu kubwerere era twetemera bwerere agamaso kanulira bwerere wajja bwerere okayanira bwerere ebikumala muteri kye wajja nakyo kimanye kiyoleka emirerembe wajja bwerere oddayo ni mwerere ebyokuma bagabane ku bwerere duniya ya mukama tuli mu kubwerere era twetemera bwerere tuli mu kubwerere era twetemera bwerere tuli mu kubwerere era twetemera bwerere anya kusasula naye okunjagala kale yogera kyofuna mpulira ng'atasanidde mimi nitawi lisiroza amatunda na kyamanyo kyekibi kinsikiriza ensi ekyuse nnyo olumubi kusobera onyize nnyo lw'obujeemu bwenkoze amaaso gono okutu gono tabijjaawo tegedde kulabye Katonda nandinziza nti okuwona obusungu bwo Mukama osaanidde ebeneza Mukama abaddewo era nkuuma ebeneza abaddewo ku lwange ebeneza endwadde zikozi byakyasusa ebeneza abaddewo ku lwange
asinga gwe Yesu asinga gwe mukwano gwange amazima simulaba
oli omoti Yesu asinga gwe mukwano gwange amazima simulaba asinga gwe Yesu asinga gwe mukwano gwange amazima simulaba oli omoti Yesu asinga gwe mukwano gwange amazima simulaba
amazima kaseko kaffe gwe era luyimba lwenyimba mukusoberwa yerekereza nsanyuke amazima sebo oyogera
olabye n'amapenzi
mukwano gwomu vuba nkusanyuse
naye era nnemererwa weebale
kubokyatwagala Mukama osaanidde
amazima kaseko kaffe gwe era luyimba lwenyimba mukusoberwa yerekereza nsanyuke amazima sebo oyogera olabye n'omukwano gwomu vuba nkusanyuse naye era nnemererwa weebale kubokyatwagala Mukama osaanidde ebeneza Mukama abaddewo era akuuma ebeneza abaddewo ku lwange ebeneza endwadde zikonzi byakyasusa ebeneza abaddewo ku lwange asinga gwe ambula
mukwano gwange amazima simulaba olyo moti
nyabo
Yesu asinga gwe mukwano gwange amazima simulaba asinga gwe Yesu asinga gwe mukwano gwange amazima simulaba olyo moti Yesu asinga gwe mukwano gwange amazima simulaba mulaba bebalekere ddame babesiga nnyo baba ba mukwano ne basalawo babicyange mubisoma mu mawulire sicyo bakyusakyusaamu n'amannya n'ebimu ne batabijjaayo kisaana bewuwo bagambe kumalye yakutuyanya jogera n'abalina katijjo nga buli kikyo kigamboyo enamba ya bbaawo togimuwa ekyo nkirese kyemmanyi omanyi sikyo ekyama ky'okkumya ekyo tayagala tumanye kusaba nakyo tokinyumyanga lwoli kinyumya tuli kifuna n'ekifo we wamugambira akuwakanira mugandawo kuba akaseko tekeesigwa oliyo kujjako enjeru mu bwangu ogamba tasekangako mu bulamu bwe obibanyumiza we mwawuka bakuba amasimu ku rediyo timwali mumanyi mulina muntu mulabe byasuza kale munda akuwakanira mugandawo kuba akaseko tekeesigwa oliyo kujjako enjeru mu bwangu ogamba tasekangako mu bulamu bwe obibanyumiza we mwawuka bakuba amasimu ku rediyo timwali mumanyi mulina muntu mulabe byasuza kale munda enkwe bazirya ne beefumbya obaako byoleka mundayo akuttanga yefudde akuuma bebo betubeera mu yensi agalula nokyuka namwenya neyefuula baddeko kyagamba abantu bomwenyeza abalabe bw'okiyiga tobeepe n'abebo ab'enkwe bazirya ne beefumbya obaako byoleka mundayo akuttanga yefudde akuuma bebo betubeera mu yensi agalula nokyuka namwenya neyefuula baddeko kyagamba abantu bomwenyeza abalabe bw'okiyiga tobeepe n'abebo akuwakanira mugandawo kuba akaseko tekeesigwa oliyo kujjako enjeru mu bwangu ogamba tasekangako mu bulamu bwe obibanyumiza we mwawuka bakuba amasimu ku rediyo timwali mumanyi mulina muntu mulabe byasuza kale munda akuwakanira mugandawo kuba akaseko tekeesigwa oliyo kujjako enjeru mu bwangu ogamba tasekangako mu bulamu bwe obibanyumiza we mwawuka bakuba amasimu ku rediyo timwali mumanyi mulina muntu mulabe byasuza kale munda timwali mumanyi mulina muntu mulabe byasuza kale munda timwali mumanyi mulina muntu mulabe byasuza kale munda timwali mumanyi mulina muntu mulabe byasuza kale munda
And there you have it, the streams of Life Choir here at Good Morning Uganda Friday edition. And in the same regard, like I've mentioned earlier, is that when you look back at how the year 2024 has been musically, this is a choir that has also rocked us in regards to gospel music and in regards to the music that speaks to the soul. So they do have quite a number of songs that they've released so far and songs that they are also working on. And in the same capacity, we do have the team lead here, or the trainer in that capacity, who is going to be speaking to us to fully get to understand how they've reached this level and what it means for the school in general and the streams of Life Choir from Kennedy School. A very good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
And I'm Isaac Magezi, right hand trainer stream of Life Choir, Kennedy Secondary School.
Okay, and well, how has it been so far this year, 2024? Let's talk about 2024 from the perspective of the performances and the songs that you've released.
I think 2024 has been the best year of all years we've been in this industry. It has been amazing. It has rewarded us. We've been able to get awards. I mean, we've seen the love people have for us. We've been blessed by God this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just also let the viewer know, how do you keep up to speed with these amazing talents for you as a coach?
Yeah. First of all, we believe and trust in God. So we just want to thank God that He has led us this far. We've been able to, we hold practices on a daily basis. Practices, they have to juggle academics with their talent. So we try our level best, but I would like to say that it has been good all through.
Okay, now take us through the upcoming concert that you do have, and how can the people or the viewer who is watching us this morning get to access the tickets, and where will the concert be?
Ugandans, we do have a concert this Sunday, that is 15th December. This concert is mainly for those people who say we've been blessed by God this year, we've seen God's hand this year, the Lord has been there for us. So we have the Lukusuta live concert this year. It will be at Sheraton Gardens. I think gates will be open by 2 p.m. Please come through, come and support us, come and support these amazing talents here. A ticket, early bird ordinary goes for 30,000, VIP goes for 80,000, early bird, and a table of 10, 2.5. So those people that would like to buy at the gate, it's 50,000 ordinary, 80,000 VIP, and 3 million a table. So one that would like to buy a ticket, you will just dial *252*4, follow the prompts, and after you've received a message that confirms your payment, kindly tap the link in the message and download the ticket. You can print out the ticket given to you or come with your phone, and we scan the QR code on the ticket that was given to you for verification.
Okay, yes. And the 15th of December 2024 is when the Lukusuta live in concert will be at the Sheraton Kampala Hotel. Like they've said, 30,000 Ugandan shillings for the ordinary tickets, early bird. At the gate, it's 50,000 Ugandan shillings. 80k for VIP, that is early bird, but 100,000 Ugandan shillings for the VIP at the gate, inclusive of which 2.5 million for a table, but at the gate it's 3 million Ugandan shillings. And for now, they have 2 songs that they're going to perform for you, our dear viewer, as we head into the weekend. First off, is going to be a collaboration with Pastor Wilson Bugembe, and then they will sum it up with a song that definitely is the song of the year from my perspective, Lukusuta. But for now, our dear viewer, as the weekend approaches, here is the Streams of Life Choir once again.
Katonda, alikwekana watenga twepanga tetukutuka oli katonda tekiri bawo watenge setuka aliddawo yawo oli wamani wekumira amagezi se watebulikira mu kifa wekumira obuyinza kivuna byakusinze watusa era nga bolaba ogamba era nekibagwe katonda weka katondo wamani osuka kubuli chendaba oranelano wambula gwe katonda weka katondo wamani weka 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 katonda weka katondo wamani watusa era nga bolaba ogamba era nekibagwe katonda weka katondo wamani osuka kubuli chendaba oranelano wambula gwe katonda weka katondo wamani katonda teryalikwekana waddenga twepanka tetukutuka oli katonda tekiri bawo wadenge setuka aliddawo lyawo oli wamani wekumira amagezi se watebulikira mu kifa wekumira obuyinza kivuna byakusinze wekumira obuyinza kivuna byakusinze wekumira obuyinza kivuna byakusinze kwebaza bulumi mumpisa webale kubate bumazewo kwebaza makubo gogadde webale sala zotazemu nebesabye notabimpa ondaze nti gwe katonda nkwebaza bulumi mumpisa webale kuba tebumazeewo n'abannese ne bagenda ze mmanyi olina ensonga
oluyimba lukusuuta ondaze nti gwe katonda
ekitiibwa kikugwana webala mu makubo gogadde ze mmanyi olina ensonga
oluyimba lukusuuta ondaze nti gwe katonda
ekitiibwa kikugwana webala mu makubo gogadde
zemmanyoli na ensonga ndowooza mu magezi gange ntoba tokola bulumi mu mutima gwange nabo obusuka menyeka neserera ng'olumuwabula oluyimba lukusuuta newolitwala byonna byewampa gwe wabipa kusaba kimumpe bulamu ebyo birikoma wansi mu mutima gwange manyo kiraba oluyimba lukusuuta ndowooza mu magezi gange ntoba tokola bulumi mu mutima gwange nabo obusuka menyeka neserera ng'olumuwabula oluyimba lukusuuta newolitwala byonna byewampa gwe wabipa kusaba kimumpe bulamu ebyo birikoma wansi mu mutima gwange manyo kiraba oluyimba lukusuuta
ekitiibwa kikukwana oluyimba oluyimba lukusuuta ekitiibwa kikukwana oluyimba lukusuuta
zemmanyoli na ensonga byoke bikusanyusa bikolebwa mu bulamu bwange byoka byoyagala ndi wano salawo nga bolaba gwamanyirwa kinatondebwa nze era lwendigenda gwamanyi makuba malungamu mokamwembera mpitaatera nga ndinawe ndowooza mu magezi gange ntoba tokola bulumi mu mutima gwange nga bwobusuka menyeka neserera ng'olumuwabula oluyimba lukusuuta newolitwala byonna byewampa gwe wabipa kusaba kimumpe bulamu ebyo birikoma wansi mu mutima gwange manyo kiraba oluyimba lukusuuta ndowooza mu magezi gange ntoba tokola mutima gwange nabo obusuka menyeka neserera ng'olumuwabula oluyimba lukusuuta newolitwala byonna byewampa gwe wabipa kusaba kimumpe bulamu ebyo birikoma wansi mu mutima gwange manyo kiraba oluyimba lukusuuta
ekitiibwa kikukwana oluyimba lukusuuta
zemmanyoli na ensonga
oluyimba lukusuuta ekitiibwa kikukwana oluyimba lukusuuta
zemmanyoli na ensonga
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Welcome to Good Morning Uganda, your go-to morning show to kickstart your day with all the latest updates.
Let's dive deep into issues that matter most to you.
In a world of stories waiting to be told, the headlines are your guide. Navigate the currents of news and knowledge with our daily updates of newspapers. Stay informed, stay empowered.
From the roar of the crowd to the thunder of victory, witness the drama unfold with our sports updates. Whether on the field or in the stands, join us as we celebrate the spirit of champions.
Rise with Good Morning Uganda, weekdays from 6:30 a.m. In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwao.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Every Friday 9 p.m., it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwao.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by